Okay, cool. Welcome to the Dude Awakening. This is Scott Busby and my co-host,
Niko.
yeah, Nick Galaviz. I'm going to say your full name, dude.
Okay, finally. I don't, because like the whole Niko thing, like he calls me that. So does Bowser. Sometimes our other friends do too.
He's going to say a bunch of names that you've never heard, maybe, but we have a guest here with us. I came up with a nickname for you actually today that you might hate. It was actually my dog's name before when I got him first.
Okay.
But when I tell you, it'll make sense.
Yeah.
Tebow.
Yeah. People call me that.
Tyler Bowden.
Yeah.
So Tebow, but that's what Baxter's name was when I got him.
Wow.
But all I could think of was like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing the touchdown Jesus. So,
Yeah.
Gnarly Christian.
You might catch me praying on the field.
Yeah, dude. Yes. So we got Tyler Bowden.
Are you from this area? So you're originally from Vegas and now out here.
Yeah.
Right on.
Lived out here. Grew up here.
So Tyler and I met one night at I don't know. I think it was Mulligan's, but it could have been somewhere else. But
I think it was Artifacts.
it could have been.
Yeah.
So he went to high school with some of my local friends here. And I think one night somebody was like, oh, hey, my friend Tyler over here, he was Mormon too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're one of them too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a foreman. We call us foreman.
Yeah.
Foreman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not on board. Yeah. Don't do the clapping. That's what Josh was doing last week. And
But he kept on doing it over and over.
He's like
and
talking
just
like
driving
this.
me nuts.
Yeah.
He kept on like, when you're like,
Doesn't play well with the microphone.
So yeah, you don't want to make a lot of slapping noises or, like
you can't jerk off.
like that stuff like that is not okay. So, but yeah, so, we got Tyler here. I think we talked a little bit about what the Dude Awakening is. you
Yeah.
know, and
Interesting.
I think every episode we've talked about, kind of my, the Dude Awakening is, like I'm going through a Dude Awakening right now, which is, I'm doing comedy and all my friends that have known me forever are like, dude, like even my cousin told me that today. He's like, bro, you've been a comedian your whole life. Like,
Yeah.
So me going through this process of like actually pursuing something that like speaks to my soul, that like
Sure.
feeds my soul, and talking about all of the things that, stopped me from not doing it
Mhm.
when I've wanted to do it pretty much my whole life, but for whatever reasons I didn't do it, whether that's fear of failure, whether that's expectations from my family,
not good enough.
not good enough. Church, like thinking I needed to do these other things.
You've always wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
I have.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like it's your calling. I mean, having known you for a couple years now, you always come across as a comedian.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's totally my personality. I can't help but say the funny thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah. Right.
Even
Or
when it's not funny.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Even when it's not even a little bit funny. Like, dude, that wasn't funny. That was just mean. I had a conversation with my brother-in-law one time he grew up in a family that is not sarcastic at all. My family's very sarcastic, and he's a super good dude. He wants to fit in. Right. And he's like, trying to understand the sarcasm, but he would just say mean shit. And he'd be like, no, your shirt's stupid. And I'm like, bro,
that's not how you do this.
sarcasm without wit is just being called an asshole. Like, it's not funny. It's like, hey, you're dumb. Like, bro, like that's not how it works. You got to have, some creativity and wit in there, whatever. But
It's an art form.
yes, it is. It is.
And so how are you curating your art? How are you making yourself more creative?
That's a great question. Actually, that has probably been one of my biggest struggles the last 2 months is figuring out how to be creative. And I was beating myself up because I would sit down and try to write. Cause I've like been consuming books about how other comedians have done it. And, I'm taking a stand-up comedy workshop up in Hollywood. And
Yeah.
the whole thing is like all these comedians write. They write all the time. Like Jerry Seinfeld would write for like 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Like he would write about like 2 words, and he would like just study those words and figure out all of the combinations and where the funny is.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do that. And I'm like, I can't, I just can't. So
Got to make something of your own.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So for me, kind of like going into comedy has actually been kind of like a spiritual experience. Because I'm learning about myself and like what makes me tick. And also like, I think the creativity is, I hate using like the word divinity,
Sure.
the word God or the universe. I prefer to use the universe. I don't really care. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And so, there's all these preconceived notions of what, God is. Cause, it could be so many different things. God could be so many different things. But anyways, so creativity, I think that the universe is creativity. And so tapping into that creativity, I feel like is a form of spirituality. And so it comes to me at random moments, man. And, I found that when I'm walking my dog, when I'm driving, when I'm, doing, cleaning up the house, or which, as you can see, is not happening much lately.
I've never seen your sink empty.
Dude.
So you got that going for you.
Bro,
It's part of the creative process.
It's part of the creative process.
Yeah. But that's a good question. So
well, I think you've been doing a lot. I mean, you're talking about it, you're sharing with other people as opposed to keep it inside your head like you have been.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what it was that finally lit a fire under your ass to just pursue this shit. Because I know we sat down that one time at lunch at Ace Burgers and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And he told me some of the jokes.
I was already doing it at that point.
Yeah.
I'd already
doing the open mics and shit.
Yeah.
But like finally doing it and taking that, I don't know, I'd say healthy risk on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long course. I think, a little over 2 years ago, I was working for a tech company that we did just during COVID. Like the company got bought and then our division got sold from the company that bought us like 6 weeks later. And the new company, I was there for 2 years and it was just painful the whole time I was there, and, the day I got laid off, there was like 40 people that got laid off that day, which was like, 15, 20% of the, workforce or something. I don't know what it was, but just that whole process, I was so burnt out and I didn't want to go back to the corporate world. Like it drained my soul. Like I was like dead inside,
Office space.
Yes. I was dead inside, dude. And they gave me a little severance, which was nice, and so I was good for, a little bit, but I started drinking and playing golf and I'm like, got all fat. And anyway, that was
retired already.
Yeah.
At age fucking 40.
That was 2022. And then into 2023, I started playing around with doing my own stuff and then, came up with the idea to write, the children's book about Baxter and, finally, I've gone through the path of the book and I just kind of felt like I love the children's book, Baxter's Second Chance. I love the mission of it. But it just didn't feel 100% authentically me. I like it. It's great. I mean, it's an awesome story about my dog and I, and I love the mission, but I just didn't feel like it was entirely like, I don't know, feeding my soul, whatever you want to call it, but
yeah, exercising your full creativity.
Yeah. Yes. And also like, when the judge said I'm not allowed to be within 500 meters of this elementary school, that kind of put a damper on things. Like, how am I supposed to sell these if I can't even be around the kids?
Jesus Christ.
No. So I went on a road trip last summer.
I remember.
Yeah. And I went up to Montana and it was just Baxter and I was seeing this girl that was out. She went out to visit me out there. Well, we met up in Montana in Glacier National Park and she recommended a book of Anna Karenina. And I was like,
what?
Yeah, dude. And I started listening to that and I was like, dude, this girl doesn't.
No.
Like, I was like, dude, I listened to like for 30 minutes and I was like, dude,
nothing against that book.
No, I'm sure it's an amazing book, but yeah, well, it's a Russian
You're
book.
not missing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, dude, do you even know how to read, Nick?
I just picked it up like 6 months ago.
Anyways, so I got a book, obviously I'm not getting a book that I'm reading while I'm driving with my dog. So, and I drove a lot. Like there was like 12-hour days, where I'm in the car. So I got this book that was Mastering Stand-Up and it was, Steven Rosenberg or something like that. Or, I forgot anyways, he has trained a bunch of comedians and stuff. The first chapter, I listened to it. I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I got to do. Yeah. The first chapter just spoke to me. It was like, he talked about like basically like the persona of a comedian. And I'm like, dude, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
He's talking about me. Because one of the things was fear. Like like, oh, dude, I'm not funny enough. You're like, getting on stage dude, it's a totally different thing, you know? And I'm like, I'm funny, but it's like, I'm mostly funny like when I'm drinking, you know, and like stuff comes to me really quick, you know, but like actually putting together a bit,
Right.
you know, getting on stage. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a different story. But when I listened to that first chapter, he really made it clear that, hey, if all of your friends think you're funny, you're probably funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was like, well, yeah, they do.
Okay, so that was the beginning. Then, sorry, I snapped. My bad.
No, that's good.
That was the beginning.
But also keep me on track too.
I'm going to,
knows, like,
because he likes to go off on little tangents, and he has to remember that there's 3 people in this conversation right now. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that's the beginning, halfway through the drive. And then by the time you get home, you're getting like motivated. When did you actually put that into work? You know? So
I started to apply some of the principles from this book. Like dude, I wouldn't say I was reading the book. I was listening to it on audio, but I was going through it, and dude, it's like a 30-hour book, right? So I didn't listen to the whole thing on my road trip, you know, like it took me like, I think I just finished it like in January, right? Okay. So it was over like 4 months. And I just started writing stuff, and then I wasn't doing anything. I just was kind of writing things. And then one night I was like, dude, what, like, I want to do this. Like, I don't know how to do it. And I don't know like how to go about it or anything. So I reached out to my uncle. And he's a musician. I mean, he's a concert pianist. He's a conductor. He was a chair at the music department at UC Irvine. He was a professor of music at UCLA. Like, and he's trained like, you know, actors and other comedians and stuff like that. So I reached out to him, and we ended up having lunch, and he was like, gave me this validation. Like,
so you got vulnerable with someone that cares about you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're right. That's, yeah. I didn't think about it that way. But yes, I got very vulnerable.
That's a dude awakening right there.
It is.
And my uncle's gay too. So when I go to a gay, I was like, I'm not. Okay. Lie to me. I let go. I let go. But yeah, that's part of Dude Awakening, is getting vulnerable and being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And you need people around. That's a big part about Dude Awakening. It's like, you know, being vulnerable. But yes, I got vulnerable with him. And then, he said, you know, hey, this is what he's like, I've known that you should have done this. He tells me not to say should have, because saying should have means that I was ready, and I wasn't ready.
You didn't have the confidence yet.
No, I wasn't ready to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it now. It's something that I wanted to do, but I didn't do because I wasn't ready. So he's like, he said, this is your calling. He's like, I've known this, you know, your whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Like, so that gave me confidence, you know, like, okay, I could pursue this. And from there, it's been like, you know, up and down.
And it's going to be.
Yeah,
that's just like the natural course of anything.
Yeah. That's the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's kind of what creativity is to me, is when preparation and like readiness to receive the moment meets opportunity. And you're able to channel whatever it is that you're channeling, whether it's an artistic creative process, or even in my world, like in business. I feel like it is a creative process to kind of channel what it is that I need to do in my business to take it to the next level. And it's preparing, it's working hard, and meeting that moment to channel that creativity when I need to, you know?
Yeah.
And I think you're doing it.
I mean, I'm doing something, but I mean, I feel happy. Like I feel like I'm going down a path that, you know, I mean, I love it. Like last night I did an open mic at a show in Oceanside, and
back down at the same.
Yeah. Dude, it was the best. The crowd was a little sauced up, but they were marinated.
It's all the better.
But I didn't know anybody there. I knew some of the other comedians had gone up, but I didn't know anybody in the audience. And, you know, I got up there and did 5 minutes. Well, I did 6. I went past my minute. The guy was like flashing his light twice, the guy that puts the show on. And I'm like,
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not done here.
And he's like, I was like, can I do one more? And he's like, no, dude. There's a bunch of other comedians that needed to go. And he's trying to be fair. He's super, super good dude. Like I sent him a message and apologized today. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you're trying to be fair. Anyways. So yeah, I love this, man. It's fantastic.
Okay, so go on somewhat of a self-discovery trip with your dog.
Yeah.
listen
That's
to not
really weird.
Yeah. I mean, you are a weird guy.
This is true.
And then you get motivated, come on, get vulnerable, and then put it actually to work. You're motivated, determined, and now you're like happy.
Broke, but happy.
Yeah,
Yes.
broke but happy. And I mean, I'm going to be broke forever. I got fucking 3 kids and single dad. So
Not when this podcast hits, bro.
okay, that'll be great. But it's the happiness aspect of life.
Yeah.
I had someone hit me up on Monday. I was talking to a friend and he's like, hey, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing pretty good. He's like, really? Like, how are you going? I said, honestly, I'm good. I'm happy because my kids are happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately was like, if I didn't have kids, I wonder how happier I'd be all the time.
Yeah.
Super selfish, bro. Super fucking selfish, right? It's like, okay, I can't really think like that. My kids are pretty happy the majority of the time. And they're happier when I'm present in their lives, not physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be spiritually, emotionally, and mentally present for my kids.
Sure.
But happiness, I think, I mean, you've been a pretty cheerful guy, always, since I've ever fucking known you. And I haven't seen you this geared up for life, not for like your life, but just for life consistently ever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe when we were like 3rd grade when, didn't have any fucking problems.
When I lost in the spelling bee to the girl.
That was 5th grade.
I don't know. I probably lost to her more than once, dude. Yeah. When I lost to the girl that was nonverbal.
Horrible.
You guys ever heard of the hero's journey? Do you know what that is? Joseph Campbell.
I've heard of it.
So it's Joseph Campbell was like an author and a philosopher, and he wrote about this. It's an archetype in literature all over the world and throughout history. And so he looked at literature all around the world, all throughout history, and found that this archetype existed through different stories all through time. And he pretty much put it into, a format that is kind of a template, which is the hero's journey and all these different stories. And if you think about like King Arthur, and the sword and the stone, like he goes out in the woods, whatever, he fights the dragon, he comes back and he's the hero. That's basically what the hero's journey story or archetype is all about. But in my mind, that's what all of us are living every day in our lives. And so it starts off with a call to action, right? So something comes, you're living your life and something comes your way and it calls you to take action. But what it requires in that action is to go into the dark forest and go on an adventure to eventually slay a dragon. And it's a fearful thing to do. So like anytime we're called to action, we're like, oh man, I don't want to do that. So after the call to action is the rejection of the call to action. Like, I don't want to do that.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me the glory at the end of the story.
Right.
Real quick. Like, I don't want to have to earn it.
Well, I think, to compare your life now and how happy you are now to your desk job or your corporate job 2.5 years ago, like maybe you were making more money or maybe you were more situated by conventional terms, but you're much happier now because you're slaying the dragon of what life is calling you to do. So you're kind of meeting that moment of opportunity to channel the creativity that you really have inside. And so you're basically slaying the dragon right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've slayed a few dragons, but luckily I could clear up that mess with just a little amoxicillin, but yeah, no, I think that, yes. So I've heard a lot about the hero's journey from another author actually that wrote a book that changed my life at one point, like 12 years ago, something like that. A guy named Donald Miller, but he wrote a book called 1,000,000 Miles in 1,000 Years. And he teaches brands now how like the power of the story and all stories that are successful kind of have that same archetype, right?
Yeah.
There's the hero, there's, the antagonist.
journey.
Yes. Yeah. So absolutely. And I think, I mean, for me, it's just, this is what I enjoy doing, but I also compare it to, like when I learned Spanish, right? Like when I learned Spanish, dude, it was hard in the beginning. Right. And I love to speak Spanish, like, and I love Latinos. I love, Spaniards. I love Spanish speaking people. I mean, not all, but just like I don't love all English speaking people, but I love speaking Spanish with people, and it's opened up such another part of my life that never would have had if I hadn't learned that. But when I first started learning it in the Dominican Republic, dude, people were laughing in my face, and it was frustrating. and I would try to say things and I wouldn't understand things because I couldn't tell the difference of it when one word would end and the next word would start, and like, it was so exhausting in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I just focused day in and day out on learning a little bit, and just kept working at it and kept working at it. And that was painful. It was super painful. And I didn't like that part,
Right.
but
was the driving force because you did go down there. You had a calling to help people.
yeah,
Right.
yes. I mean, at the time I believed that God, wanted me to go there. And maybe that's still true. I don't believe in that religious philosophy anymore, but maybe that was still true. The universe or God or whatever, that was what I knew. And that's the pathway that, the universe could send me down to save me from myself at that point in my life.
100%.
And give me a mission, give me a goal, give me something to fight for.
Yeah.
And so, I was motivated. I also believed that
You're going to do
that God was going to give me the strength to do it. So I believed that, and I just focused on it, and I believed that I could do it. And I ended up learning to speak Spanish fluently, and now it's easy, and I love it.
Looking back, do you think in either of yours, hero's journey or journey, right? Dude awakening, were you 100% committed?
When I was a missionary?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%.
Right.
No matter how, it was like I knew.
Yeah. So no matter how scary a situation is, no matter how difficult or less difficult than one was or the other, I think that whenever we are 100% committed, you're going to be 100% successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
100% successful.
Well, also, I mean, success is, ambiguous, but what is success?
Being able to, I would say in this situation, you not knowing a lick of Spanish, except for maybe some curse words or something like that from high school, or you took some Spanish, but to being able to speak fluently with an accent, that's pretty strong.
But that's the other thing, right? Is like learning the Spanish wasn't the goal. Learning Spanish was the skill that I needed to accomplish the goal.
It was a temporary objective.
Yes. So my goal was to, spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Mormon version, right? That was the goal, right? That was my mission. And, to help bring people unto Christ was my mission at the time. And, but Spanish was just what I needed to be able to accomplish that, right?
So that was the dragon.
Yeah.
See? Spanish. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
You're wiser than you look, Tyler.
Thanks,
Bowden.
Tom. Thank you. and success,
solid.
doesn't it? I totally agree with what you're saying about, if you're 100% committed, it leads to success, but success doesn't always look the same way you envision it when you start off. I think the path takes different courses, but you just have to keep, it's like Rocky says, keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Moving forward. I just watched that documentary the other day, or on Sylvester Stallone, and they talked about that part. So
yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, and I think that's one of, in my experience, and there has been, like, I set out for a specific goal, and I've accomplished that. But then there's been others where I set out with this goal, and like you're saying, it has evolved along the way because of other other things getting in the way, or not just getting in the way, but not even knowing, oh wait, I actually have to do this in order to continue that. Anyway, end results different than the initial expectation, and happier with that one that I didn't even fucking think.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Could even be much better than you had imagined.
Right.
In the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out now then, so how do I apply that to my comedy journey of, learning the tricks of comedy, like learning how to structure a joke well with a setup and a punch, and to, I'm using all sorts of different tools. And that's why I took this workshop, right? It's because I want to know that, like, there are things, like certain tricks and things that will lead to people laughing, right? Like surprise, for example, right? Is, or using double entendres, and, just there's all these different, I don't call them tactics or whatever, but those are like the tools, right? For me, that's like
animated.
Yeah, that's like, and I mean, everything around that. Yeah. Yes. The delivery, I told a joke last night that I ended with that, Yeah. Yeah.
Did I know?
I don't know. You might have, but I was thinking about it yesterday and I'm like, I mean, I could tell you guys really quick. It'll take 30 seconds.
Sure.
So I do this whole bit about how, when I was Mormon, the church told me, oh, you just got to, find a girl that loves Jesus as much as you do and everything will work out. Well, this isn't the joke I was going to tell you, but, but I'm like, why would
You said 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, why would I want to be with a girl that loves my landscaper as much as I do? He's already got a full route, like he doesn't have time. He needs to focus on my garden. Like, I threw that one in there like last second and then I was like, no, but that's what, obviously, I don't have a landscaper. I live in an apartment. Seriously, you guys. But no, but so that wasn't the actual joke. The joke was, so when I left the Mormon church, I realized that, just finding somebody who loves Jesus, like there's a thing called compatibility and stuff like that, that was bullshit. So I left the church and I'm like, go out into the world and I'm like, oh my God, there's more than just like two kinds of girls. Like there's two kinds of girls in the Mormon church. There was married girls and ugly girls. Like, so I'm like, well, which one do I go for?
Married.
Yeah. So then I'm out there and it's like, there's all of these different kinds of girls. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is like the menu at Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, there's like 30 pages. Like, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, dude, and I've been dating girls now for like 15 years since then. And I still haven't even made it to Asian fusion section. But I use that whole as a setup to go into all of these different kinds of girls that I've dated. Cause I have been like going and, meeting different girls and dating all sorts of different girls. So this was the joke. I dated this beautiful Persian girl that, she grew up in England. Right. Well, her name was Bita, B-I-T-A. Right. And so I'm on our first date. I'm like, oh, Bita, that's like a really cool name. Like, like I'm curious, like where, does it have a meaning? Like, where's it come from? And she says to me in this beautiful British accent, she's like, well, when my grandfather found out that my mother was pregnant, he beat her.
Fucking sick one. Did you get any laughs?
Well, every time I've told that joke like 3 times now, but the delivery when I do the accent and I'm like, like he beat her. Like it, people are like, oh no, they're like, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I know, that's what I thought too, right? It's like I didn't just make up this sick joke in my head. This is an actual real story, which it is not. But, then I go on to say like, I was like, I know, that's how I was surprised too. I was like, oh my God, and I was like, well, what happened? And she's like, well, that's why my mother fled the country. And I'm like, is that why they call it Iran? Wow. I had no idea.
That's
Just
good.
running. Yeah. Anyways, but so, the delivery.
But you've also.
Yeah, that was way longer. But anyway.
Yeah, it was way longer than 30 fucking seconds. That was like 4 minutes. Yeah. But no, you're like learning your techniques, learning your strategies, whatever it is. I don't know anything about being a comedian. I would typically fit. I totally would do that shit.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, I would. I have funny moments. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have that. I don't have it to be a comedian. I know that, and that's completely okay. It's not my wheelhouse. I don't give a shit. So with you are learning and you're studying things like I didn't even think about it. Like he's listening to some of his or watching his videos and counting the seconds of laughs and trying to calculate how he can shorten a joke to get the people laughing consistently throughout a 5-minute set, 7-minute set. Okay, this joke works here, and like plugging the holes, if you will.
Sure.
And so it would be hard to be able to tell a story with a multitude of jokes in a 5-minute bit. You kind of have to be one after the other.
I think for me, that's the hardest part right now is because I have to look, I haven't accomplished much at all. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 months, right? I started like right around Thanksgiving, right? My first open mic, but I can see the pathway and I know what needs to happen, right? So I know that I need to go and get, I need to get out in front of people, right? And I need to get stage time. I need to, tell jokes and improve the craft, get better at it, feel more comfortable on stage. I know that the more comfortable I feel, the more conversational I am. And
We went to one up in Newport or Huntington,
yeah.
and he's not allowed to drink coffee.
It was so
jittery.
dude.
It's like all, not literally, but
Yeah.
internally, all weirded out.
I was
He's like, I can't fucking do this.
I was like, I look like I'm nervous, but it's just the freaking caffeine, dude.
Yeah. But it's interesting because you can work really hard and not be a success in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You have to, or in any, creative, artistic kind of field, you could be the hardest worker and even have talent and still not find success.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I mean, it's part luck, really, just like getting discovered, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that, yes, when you're talking about talent stuff, yeah, I would agree that there's definitely a lot of luck, involved, but, well,
you improve your chances when it comes to like getting out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you make it a point, at least when I've been with you, to address certain number of people at every event you've gone to.
Well, I thought about that the other day. Is like, I'm literally doing exactly what I've done like my whole life.
Sure.
Which is, I could go to another town or something and go out, drinking with a friend and make 4 or 5 friends that night just because, I'm just like that, and I mean,
sociable.
You've seen me like that a lot, dude.
Absolutely.
And, you more so when we were younger, but, that's what I'm doing. But so going back to like the luck and like achieving this, one, I was thinking about confidence this morning. Like, one of the things my comedy instructor, who's also a comedian, told me, he's like, they look for confidence, are you confident on stage? Like, do you own the stage? Right. And I thought about that and I'm like, well, where does confidence even come from? What does it come from? And I always, when I think of confidence, one of the people that I think about is Kobe Bryant, and where did he, like that guy could miss 20 shots in a row and be just as confident on his 21st shot, and he thinks he's going to make it every single time.
Yeah.
But that confidence comes from the practice, the work, the preparation that goes into it.
Sure.
And so I thought about that. So that's a big thing, right? Is I know when I'm prepared and I know what my set is and I've prepared it, I'm confident up there, right? I know. And so, and I just feel like that, like the more I do it, that preparation will continue to build and that confidence will build. And, Steve Martin does a masterclass on comedy. And one of the things he says, be so good that they can't ignore you. Right. So if I just focus on that and I keep networking and, people like me, that's in anything, right? If, the pathway that I need to take to get there is, I have to go and do open mics, right? And that's the great thing about comedy too. That's the great thing about comedy is there's so many open mics that I can go anywhere. It doesn't cost me any money other than, the drive there. And I can get up there and I can tell some jokes and I can see how they work out and people will see me. I can meet people. Like if I wanted to be an actor, like there's not like open mic acting where like, producers and stuff are there.
Right.
But also, there's so many shows, there's so many comedy shows. And so I have to do the open mics and I have to meet people in the process. Like, the one I did last night, there was a show before the open mic and I've been talking. I'm like, dude, put me on the show. Like, give me 15 minutes or whatever, and so it's just more of that, and as I do that, I will start getting, kind of regional local shows, that I'm on. And I've already done like 2, local ones. And I start branching out into other places as I meet people. And, that's just kind of the networking of the business.
Sure.
If I suck, I mean, I guess I would compare that to the Spanish, right? Is the goal for me is not the goal isn't necessarily for me to be, really funny. It's for me to make people laugh.
Right.
Right. That's the goal.
I would say that's a good way of looking at it because you to be funny is more of this is just my opinion, a selfish intention.
Yeah.
As opposed to being of service.
Yeah. Well, and I don't like, I don't go to these and like tell jokes and people laugh and I'm like, I'm so funny. No, I'm like stoked. I'm like, and people came up to me last night and were like, dude, that was so funny. Awesome. I'm like, thank you guys so much. Like
Yeah.
That, when people are stoked to, they're laughing because you're fun and you're laughing together, and you're all
part of something.
And there's an energy, and it's like, I feel like I'm, I don't know, making people's lives better for a moment in this chaotic world. Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're the one that brought up hero's journey though.
Yeah.
Like how many of your journeys have been challenging, whether it's emotionally, spiritually? I find that like anything that's spiritually challenging for us affects us emotionally and mentally.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And
yeah, man, I mean, I've been on, like I said, I feel like we have a hero's journey, like a dragon to slay every single day. You wake up in the morning, you've got the things that you need to do, and it's your choice to take action and go into the forest or not, and if you don't, then that's, you'll reap the reward from that. And if you do, then that, but for my life, I feel like I've lived many different lives in my life. After high school here in San Clemente, went to college at San Diego State. Eventually decided
I knew I liked him.
Yeah, man, go Aztecs.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. So
did you actually go to college?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I went to San Diego State. Yeah, I didn't graduate from there, but I went.
Super
2
senior?
years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice, man. Yeah, so went to school there, had a blast, and got involved in student government.
Okay.
And eventually was like, you know what? I think I could run for student body president.
Whoa.
And it was like this dawning moment. Like, I think, like, I had a vision, like, this is something I could do. And I decided to do it. And it wasn't like, hey, I have a plan. This is how we're going to execute. It was just, I'm just going to take the first step and just keep moving forward. And ultimately got elected, had a team around me. We served a full year, had a great year together.
You're the president?
Yeah, I was the AS president.
ASB.
I didn't actually know that, dude.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
not like a high school, bro.
No, it was
Like college is different level.
Yeah, it's like 36,000 students. We ran a corporation that was like $23 million.
What?
It was pretty high level.
Did you embezzle any money?
No, I did not.
I mean, sorry. Do you know anyone that embezzled any money?
No, I don't think so. But
I know you don't know this, but Tyler is an upstanding citizen in the community of San Clemente.
yeah,
He's known.
You can all take some shortcuts.
He's a super citizen, dude.
Hell yeah.
He's a super
I
citizen.
do my best. I love to serve, And-
You do, actually.
That's
I've
awesome.
seen that.
But it's interesting because what you're talking about in comedy, like you love to see people laughing. And it's not about you being funny. It's about seeing the people laughing.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of the same thing. Like I love serving others because I love seeing the result. I love seeing the look on people's faces when they've received something like that. And it's just, that brings me up. That makes it worthwhile for me. So, that's kind of my life. But fast forward, growing up, moved back to San Clemente, was living here. I had actually quit my job. I was working for a solar company for like 6 years. Wasn't happy there. Didn't like the direction of the company. So I decided to quit. And I literally had no idea what I was going to do. It was just
Scared.
I'm going to take the leap, going to jump off the cliff here and see what happens. And then literally like days later, COVID hits and the world shuts down. And I'm like, oh man, I was planning on going traveling, having a good time. Couldn't do that anymore. And so I'm sitting in my house thinking about what I'm going to do next. And I realized like, man, and this is kind of one of those moments of creativity where you kind of channel what the universe has in front of you if you're listening, and I was lucky and grateful to receive this. Like I knew that I should start a business to kind of go off on my own and kind of be a broker, independent broker of solar. But also I had this revelation that I should run for city council. Like I already had experience in politics. I've paid attention to politics. I've run a student government in the past and I was watching the city council here during COVID and things were really bad. Like they were not getting along. They weren't getting anything done. It wasn't a very good council. And I felt like I could bring something positive to it. So same thing, like
local boy too.
Yeah.
You had that one going for you.
100%. Yeah. And that was good. And it really helped. It worked in my favor and it was a great experience. And obviously I didn't win. I'm not serving on the council, but it changed my life, dude. And that was one of the hardest experiences that I've ever been through. And it was a success, not because, of the result, but because of the experience and the things that I gained along the way. And it really made me into a different person. And all the service and stuff I do now, I wouldn't do that had it not been for that experience because I learned the value of doing all those things through that experience.
Do you still have a desire to try and do that again and like run?
Probably eventually, I still love it. I still watch all the city council meetings.
Okay.
I'm super involved.
I think you should go straight to Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
I can see,
we
I can see
have
in the
to,
house.
broaden our circle of people to
Yeah, we need
some
some
we
need somebody on the inside.
Dude, you know whose brother was interim mayor of Dana Point? Sean Pagano.
I think he's the mayor right now.
So he actually did it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, not to take anything away from being in the ASB for the San Diego State.
Yeah.
You said that there was no real direction or like just going to take this next step and see what happens. I would imagine that city council, that's more of like, you need to be strategic and have something in place did you learn that along the way?
Yes. So when I made the decision I was going to do it, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to draft a plan and then I'll decide if I'll do it. It was more like, no, I know that I should do this and then I'll figure it out. And so it's almost like that first step into the forest, right? It's a dark forest and you kind of have to find your path along the way. And so obviously once I decided to do it, there was a lot of planning that went into it. There's a lot of work to put it all together and execute it, but making the decision to take that first step, kind of like you deciding that you want to do comedy, it's not like you knew exactly what path you had.
I had no idea. Yeah.
You were just like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take the first step towards it.
But it's once you make that step, we just have an earthquake or what?
It felt like it.
Yeah. I think that is probably the most important point, which is when you're committed and you do. So that book that I'd mentioned by Donald Miller was A Million Miles in 1,000 Years.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that he says is you make a commitment. You make some sort of decision that commits you to going out into the dark forest or whatever.
Yeah.
And once you are, then it's going to light its way as you go in. Right. And that I've seen that, funny for me is when I made the decision, I started writing, met with my uncle, and then I was watching football at Jabroni's of all places with my buddy Eric, and Eric had to leave. No, you came over and met me that day.
Actually,
you met me.
There.
Yeah. So I was with Eric, and then Eric left, and I hit you up, and you came over and hung out, and then you left. That dude sitting next to me, made friends with him, and he's like, "You're funny, dude. You should meet my neighbor."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, cool." No, he's a dude. So him and I went over to Ole's, and his neighbor, who's Tanner Clem, he came over and him and I hung out, and we were joking around, and he's like, "Dude, you're funny." He's like, "I do an open mic here in town on Monday nights," and this was on Sunday, and he's like, "You should come check it out." So I was like, "Okay." So that's So I went to it, and I wasn't even planning on doing.
Is that
jokes.
when you got called out in the crowd?
Yeah. So I went to it the next day,
like,
and I had like 2 jokes that I wrote. And they were really rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there, and one of the other comedians, a guy named Mike Hughes, who I've seen a bunch of times now. I've done open mics with him and stuff, but great guy. He's working on new stuff, and he's talking to the crowd, and he had some joke where he's like, "Hey, have you guys ever played that game Secret Hitler?" And I'm like, "Every fucking day of my life," like just obviously joking, But I made some other comments like that, and one of the local patrons there was like, "Hey, you're the funniest dude here. Why don't you get up there?" And he was kind of like being a dick about it, like, "Why don't you shut up or get up there?" And I was like, "Oh, he's right." Like I can't be saying stuff to these guys unless I'm gonna get up there. So
you did.
And Tanner was like, "Yeah, bro, get up here."
Wow.
So I did. I told my jokes, and it was a very safe place to tell the jokes.
Sure. That's awesome, dude. Like in that moment, you could have been like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to get up and say that joke." And that's you like rejecting the call to action and deciding not to go slay the dragon.
Yeah.
But you were like, "Yes, I'll do it."
9 out of 10 people, probably 9.5 out of 10 people don't step up and do that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. In life. I mean, that's why we're here awakening the dude right now,
The dude.
Share the word.
Awaken the dude. Okay. So,
all right. So
former Mormon though.
Yeah.
I was way deeper into it than he was.
I was going to ask, like, did you go on the mission or all that?
I quit when I was like 15.
He got out of it before it messed him up too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Great question.
Really?
Do they send the women out to do? How come I never see?
It's
because they don't have the same uniform they
can never come knocking on my door.
Well, so the male missionaries have a very specific uniform where they're wearing a white shirt, tie, and slacks, right? Whereas women, they have all different colored clothes. I mean, they're just wearing a little name tag. So you might see that two chicks walking down the street, and unless you knew what to look for, you wouldn't even notice. I see them all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had. You do here?
Yeah. I've seen here in town.
Witness for sure.
No, they'll have a little. Sorry, dude, I'm getting my elbow in front of this. They'll have a black name tag on their whatever, their blouse or whatever, and it's a black name tag with white writing. And yeah. So
it's less common. Like you don't see as many, but it's becoming more.
No, there's a lot more going now. So originally, when I went, it was you had to be 19 as a guy, and you had to be 21 as a girl, and they lowered those ages. I don't know when, but they lowered it for men to 18 and women to 19.
Trippy.
So yeah, and
I have had women that I'm pretty sure it was a Jehovah's Witness, and they wouldn't come in unless a female was present in the house.
Yeah.
Or
that we had the same rules.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to succumb to temptation.
Oh, there's nothing tempting about a woman dressed like from ankle to throat.
Yeah. Well, no, it's safer for them. Actually, there's a movie about that, Heretic.
Oh,
have you seen that movie? And they actually mention that. So there's a dude there. So Hugh Grant plays this man that has a referral for the female Mormon missionaries to come over, and it's raining outside, and he's trying to get him to come inside, and he's like,
Don't do it.
And he's like, oh, they're like, oh, there's got to be a woman here, and he's like, oh yeah, my wife's here. She's baking pie in the back, which was totally I don't want to give it up.
I'm not gonna watch that movie.
It's good. It was good actually. It was good. I liked it, but it was interesting. Yeah.
Well, there's a tangent.
Yeah.
I have to say, I really appreciated my time in the church.
Yeah. I don't like to.
With my grand.
Yeah. I don't.
Looks up at the camera.
I don't.
Rams.
I don't hate on the church. There's so much from it. Like my mission experience was awesome.
Yeah.
I made great friends in the Dominican Republic and other missionaries, and I learned so much, and I take so many of the values from the church that are really special to me. But there are a lot of things that kind of mess me up, and some of them are not necessarily the church's fault or the doctrine's fault. It's my own issues that I had that the church just kind of exacerbated, and didn't really know how to help me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's another thing with the church is they don't have a paid clergy. And so the leadership isn't really trained to know how to deal with stuff.
It's all volunteers.
Right. Yeah. It's all volunteers. And so, and that's not a knock on them. That's just the way that it is. And and so, I probably should have gone to therapy, a lot younger, but that's what we've talked about is something about which actually wants to, this is a perfect lead into the topic that you and I talked about. Is, in my generation, I don't know, we're probably 10 years older than you ish around there.
Yeah.
Mid-30s.
36.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I don't know how much better it got, when you were growing up, but I mean, it's gotten better over the years of, men being able to talk about their feelings and stuff like that. Right. And, but when we were kids, Nick, we've talked about this is like you and I in high school never would have been like, oh yeah, I just got broken up with and I'm really hurt inside. No,
fuck her.
Yeah. No, that never would have happened. Well, why do you feel like that, Nicholas?
Are you okay, Scott?
Yeah, like that.
Tell me about your problem.
This is a safe place. And it was like, no, dude, in when we were growing up, that was like, oh, you're a fucking pussy, if you need to talk about your feelings, and that's not healthy. Right. But also on the flip side, my opinion is I also don't feel comfortable in a situation where I'm coddled and people are like, oh, are your feelings hurt? It's that to me is whoa.
I don't need this much attention. Right?
Yeah. Slow down here. Right. And so I think, there's a happy medium of, hey, we need as guys, we need to have this kind of, communication and openness and vulnerability where we can talk to each other about stuff and, be supportive without, being, fucking sissies or whatever. Right.
Right.
And so that brings us into the topic of masculinity that you were mentioning you wanted to talk about. So I don't even know how to kick off that topic, but
yeah, I think you
just did.
segued it pretty
okay.
quick. You know, I think, you know, and the reason I wanted to talk about it is because when I think dude awakening, that's kind of just where my head went, just thinking about, you know, what does it mean? What does a dude awakening really mean? And first part of our conversation was a whole different story. And I think that's, I think each one of us has our own awakening, but also every one of us collectively has some sort of awakening that's happening just as a humanity in the world right now. And I think it's about this masculinity, femininity thing. And, you know, people say divine masculine, divine feminine. And I think, you know, if you're going to talk about masculinity, you do also have to consider femininity. Like there's a yin to the yang. There's poles to that magnet. And so I think it's important to reflect on that, like, you know, it's not just about masculinity, it's also about femininity. And there's this book called The Way of the Superior Man. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, David Data. And he talks about that, how, you know, men and women can have, you know, the female could be masculine and the male could be feminine kind of thing. And, you know, you could have two same sex couple and one's masculine and one's feminine, or, but there's always going to be some polarity in the masculinity of the two people. And that's what creates this kind of magnetism between them. Like for regular guys like us, you know, we're pretty much, you know, focused on our masculinity in general, but it's important to at least understand, you know, that other side of ourself, that kind of heart-centered side of ourself, which is often associated with femininity, with having emotions and being vulnerable. And that's something that I think our society lost, you know, for a long time until like the 60s or 70s, when there was like the, you know, the hippie era, the Great Awakening. And people started taking drugs and getting, you know, heart-centered. And I think at that time, the pendulum really swung kind of opposite direction, where men rejected their masculinity. And over time and up until today, I think that's been the case. And it's been, you know, trying to be sort of, you know, friendly to the feminist movement, which is fine, but in so doing, kind of losing touch with that sense of masculinity and going full vulnerability and not in touch with what it is that really internally makes you a man. And that's what makes us men. It goes back to the beginning of humanity. You know, these are things that books are written about, where, you know, we were the ones that would go out and hunt for food and, you know, fight with each other and compete with each other. And the women were the nurturers. And that's kind of how traditional masculine feminine dynamics would play out. And in today's world, it's just way more complex, you know? So it's not just a simple equation of like, okay, plus minus whatever. It's every person has a different experience and every person has a different dynamic that they have to kind of wrestle with. But I think it's just about understanding who we are and, you know, what's going on inside, and not being overly masculine, not like talking smack on your buddies when they're trying to be vulnerable, and also not being overly emotional. And it's interesting because, you know, you hear the word stoic, and, you know, what I think of when I hear the word stoic is like a Native American chief with like a firm chin,
just
and like a straight
just
face.
no emotion. Strong,
Like I was talking to my girlfriend earlier, and I asked her what stoic means, and she said she thought of the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. Same thing though, right? Straight face, no emotion. But really, like going back in history, and we were talking about this yesterday, it's really the Stoic philosophy is kind of the origin of that word. And so, you know, it's Marcus Aurelius or Seneca or these other guys. And in the Stoic philosophy, they weren't saying that you should just be a straight-faced, no emotion person. They were saying that you should feel emotion, you should be playful, you should experience those things, but just recognize in your mind when it's not serving you and when it's time to kind of shift gears into, and you have to use your reason to reconcile that, but shifting gears into, okay, this is when I need to take action. And I think that's, you know, getting into like an awakened dude in today's world. That's what we have to do, is we have to be in touch with our emotions, but also be willing to kind of shift that gear into taking action. And I think that goes back into this hero's journey thing we're talking about as well, where, you know, it's, we want to keep moving forward. And so we have to find, okay, what's the dragon to slay here? And that's really where we can use our masculinity to decipher what needs to happen in any given scenario and take that next step forward. And I think that's truly what it is to be masculine.
Okay.
You know?
No, I get it. I mean, there does have to be some level of awareness when it comes to it. How is something serving you?
Yeah.
Right? Because not very close friends, but I've had friends that it's like you're always down in the dumps, or female, male, always down in the dumps for attention. It's like, this is doing nothing for you except keeping you where you're at, and you're like wallowing in your misery. You're like loving it. And then there's a time to like tough love for someone, but also being sympathetic. So there's definitely a struggle as I got older to figure out when that moment was to like, okay, it's okay to feel upset and sad right now. But like, what am I actually going to do about it? Right? Like, what am I going to turn that man switch on and really take charge without being afraid of looking like an asshole in front of some people?
Yeah.
And but to go back to like this softer side of emotions, I think that was taught very long time ago to stuff that down.
Yeah.
My family is so old school. It's like, unless the bone's sticking out of the skin, don't cry, and you're not going to the doctor type of a thing.
Sure.
You know, but emotionally still, I think that like I have a family, right? I've got my kids. We've gone through some pretty scary moments. It's not what is my job is to not be the emotional one for them. It's like, I'm their rock. Like Busby's mine. But you know, I'm their rock. It's going to be okay. When inside I'm really scared and terrified, and I can go to Busby, Josh or Jeremy or anyone, and not anyone, but people that are close to me, like, this is what's going on. Oh my God, I need to like run this by you. And I can be vulnerable with you guys.
Sure.
So
I think, you know, in my own life, my dad was definitely that, but also I don't think he ever was vulnerable, like ever, you know, cause he comes from an even different generation where it's like, no, like never, you know? And I think, you know, when we talk about masculinity, I hear this term toxic masculinity all the time, which I don't like, because there's also toxic femininity. And I just feel like those words shouldn't be together. There's toxicity.
Sure.
Right. There's toxicity and anybody can have it. And so it's like, you know, masculinity is, when you talk about masculinity, it should be a positive always. And anything like toxicity isn't masculine, right? Like, you know, like being dominant over a woman, you know, and like shutting her voice out. That's not masculine.
Right.
No. That's
Abuse.
not that. Yes, exactly.
Toxic. Yeah.
It's toxic. Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like those terms have been brought together, and it's just not accurate, and doesn't do justice. And it makes masculinity seem bad.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas masculinity it's not bad to be competitive. And I think in our society in general today, there has been this attack on masculinity because toxic behavior has been associated with men.
Yeah.
Right. Because men have been in charge. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, as we've evolved as men, I mean, that pendulum has swung so far. You know, the feminist movement, you know, originally, look, to give women a voice when they didn't have one, you know, to give them choice over what they wanted to do, you know, to have, you know, the ability to make their own path, which they absolutely should have and deserve. Right. But they didn't have those things. And, you know, we needed that. But now it's like at the point where, I mean, women pretty much have all of those things. I mean, there's definitely some areas where things can still be improved, but this concept of toxic masculinity has made men feel like, well, I don't want
to be looked at.
I don't want to be masculine because I don't want to be seen as someone that, like, you know, wants to put women down, when that's not really the case at all. And then on the flip side, I think that there is some women, I mean, obviously I don't want to generalize things, but some women have felt like they can't be the feminine part because they're like, well, you know, I'm expected now to do all these other things. And so we've gone away from that. And and
there's actually now more women enrolled in universities than there are men. You know? And so the script has flipped a little bit on, you know, what roles we're playing in society, and women are like being forced for whatever reason, whether it's just, you know, what schools are telling them to do or what their parents or what society is telling them to do, to kind of step into those roles that were before traditionally male kind of roles. And so that's creating some discontinuity in like, what is the masculine? What is the feminine? And I think, but truly, I think women want masculine, you know, they want masculine energy in a, you know, traditional male female dynamic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, definitely many of them do. Right.
And there's men and women that are both being shamed.
Yeah.
I've experienced it
Yeah.
firsthand, witnessed it, right? Like shamed for being too masculine, and then women shaming women for being like, oh, you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, what is wrong with that?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I would have always loved to have been like found a sugar mama. I'll be stay-at-home dad.
I talked to a buddy today who that's what he's done. His wife is working. He's a stay-at-home dad. And I talked to him for like 20 minutes today, and I'm like, oh, do you have time to? He's like, yeah, Friday's my day to clean. Just clean. And I was like, dude, that actually sounds so amazing. It does. I'm like, I'm totally into that.
Hell yeah. And I would love that.
What do you think that does to his masculinity though?
Do you think as long as he's a secure individual, right? Secure individual, nothing.
Yeah, we were, you know what? So, we're in a group chat, right? And I made some comment. Anyways, there was a joke made in this group chat with these other buddies, and somebody brought up comparing, you know, one of the guy's wives to a dictator, right? And so then they started going back and forth and like changing each other's wives' names. Like, you know, this one it was like Samantha Hitler. Like,
oh my God.
Like it was pretty funny. But, yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with a situation like that where, you know, if that's how their dynamic works out, awesome. And also like, you don't have, like, there's so many societal norms that have been pushed upon us, which is what I think the feminist movement has, you know, fought against. Right. And a lot of these, you know, I call them woke. I don't like that term per se, but you know, a lot of these things have fought against, which I agree. Like, we don't want society to tell us, you know, but you know, how we should act. And I don't think femininity or masculinity you don't have to be masculine in every aspect
of your life.
Right? Like, you know, his wife working, right? Her job might not be masculine, right? You know, I mean, she might be I mean, I know what she does, but just giving an example, but she might be an interior decorator or something, you know, or she might be, you know, something that's a typical, you know, female job. Yeah. But that doesn't mean men can't do that. Anyways, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but the point is that
too late.
You don't have to be masculine or feminine in every single aspect of.
And I think, you know, the problem here is kind of like you were saying earlier, the word masculine or the word feminine is such a generalized word, and it's got such a bad connotation that it's hard for us to really define what that means in our minds when we say the word.
Yeah.
And I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this earlier, and she asked an interesting question. Like, she's like, I don't really like the word masculine. Like, if you couldn't use the word masculine, what words would you use to describe that thing?
Yeah. Well, it's because the word masculine has been associated with
toxic masculinity.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But I'd like to ask you guys, what do you think? And so, you know, even talking about the buddy who's a stay-at-home dad, obviously it's not a traditional dynamic, but he's able to step into his, you know, masculine in certain ways. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on like what the words would be that would describe, you know, how he embodies.
I think, well, you know, he's still a protector, right? I mean, he's a protector. He is, you know, I mean, he does things like coaches his kids' baseball teams and stuff like that. And,
sure.
You know, I don't know who cooks and cleans and does, that doesn't matter to me. Like, but, you know, protector is a huge one.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth, so I'm going to not say the next thing, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about all of the things that are in traditional, like mother and father roles,
gender roles,
right? And I mean, when I think of the term protector, That's probably the most masculine word that I can think of.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that mothers aren't protectors too. Like you ever have like, did your mom ever have like the mom arm, dude, when you were like, she had to stop really fast and she sticks her arm out like that
All
to
the
like,
time.
you know, and you're like, first of all, if we hit something, your arm is going to come off, you know, with me, go through the windshield, you know, like, you know, but I mean, dude, it's like everybody's mom would do that back, you know.
To answer that question though, too, it's like the majority of men are physically stronger than women. It just is what it is. One of my buddies,
in general,
in general, my buddy who does not work out. You look at him; he's nothing intimidating whatsoever. His wife goes to the gym religiously.
Yeah,
religiously. She was at one time a physical trainer, right? He's like, but I still have to help her open jars at home.
Sure,
like that's just a thing.
Yeah.
So I do think protector, yes, that's the first thing, especially when you have a family or you're in a relationship. I think the majority of women want to know that their partner is going to step in front of anything intimidating, anything that's a threat. Like you're not going to think about that. That's a masculine action.
So following that same logic, right? Do you guys think that it's like bad if a woman is a protector?
No.
Right. So, I mean, I personally wouldn't want to be in a situation where my girl is like beating up people for me or protecting me from an intruder. You know, well, I don't know. I would feel like I failed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are plenty of women out there that could kick my ass.
Yeah.
You know, plenty. And I mean, there's plenty that would be the protector if I was in a relationship with them. Right. And I think what I'm getting at is I think that's okay if somebody wants to be in a relationship like that. And I think, you know, like back in the day, we would have been like, oh, that guy's a little bitch or whatever, you know, but
that's just the dynamic.
Sure.
You know, and there's a guy out there for that girl who is the protector and he's maybe the nurturer, you know, and that's just the dynamic.
I think there's a happy medium here. But, you know, I don't want to go too far down this topic, but, you know, I was talking to my uncle the other day about, just about trans, you know, and I don't necessarily understand, you know, being trans, you know, I mean,
you never will.
Look, this is, no, I know.
Yeah.
And I don't need to understand it to agree that trans people deserve to have a happy, safe life. They deserve to have a place where they can pee and feel comfortable and safe. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not even a question to me, right? Like, you know, people that fall into that category are like, they have equal, like, right to happiness that anybody else does, right? But I think, you know, that's when that's really where those lines gets like obscured, where, you know, well, what role is played here? And I feel like, you know, the toxic part is, well, you know, if you don't meet and fit in these gender roles, there's something wrong with that.
Right.
And so I think that it's good that society says, hey, look, we need to be more open-minded about this and say, that's okay. Like, you don't have to fit into these gender roles and we're going to accept you as you are. Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, cause it has swung away somewhat where it's like on the opposite side, it's like, oh, if you do fit into those gender roles, then there's something wrong with that. And I think we need to be equally as mindful saying that's fine. Like wherever you fit across the spectrum, it's all good, you know?
Yeah.
So, and we just need to be accepting of that and legislate or whatever so that everything across the board is equally protected.
No, you got me really thinking. So thank you.
Yeah.
But the whole like masculine, feminine, it can be blind of gender and just be an objective trait that someone has.
Right.
Because I think definitely, you know, I said I have 3 kids. One is a bonus child, not my biological child, but she will forever be my kid. Right.
Sure.
So 2 daughters. There's definitely times I've had to be a feminine type of action for them as opposed to the dad that's stern and like, oh, come on, you know, you got to follow the rules type of a thing. It's like, honey, what's going on? You know, you sit there and let her cry. And
especially as a single dad.
Well, man, It can be brutal.
Yeah.
It can be totally like now they're older and all that, but we, so the high school years. Whew,
Yeah.
about that, man.
That's an interesting point because, there's a lot of talk all the time about like single parent homes, and you look at, it's usually single mothers.
Mhm.
I mean, if we're honest, right, it's usually single mothers that have to play both of those roles.
Mhm.
That's gotta be really hard. Like, I don't know how I could be both, because I think that both I mean, whatever, if you call them masculine or feminine, they're just different things,
Mhm.
I mean, but to be all of those things at once, or in different moments for a child, I mean, I couldn't do that. I don't think anybody can do that successfully.
Yeah. It's almost
You make
impossible.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do want to, I'm not like, oh, totally single dad. For sure. I had a lot of help. I definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely had a lot of help.
Yeah. But it's true.
It takes a village.
You have to step in, kind of like you were saying about the mother's arm. It's not like because a mother is let's say the ultimate feminine doesn't mean she can't step into being a protector.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, Tara, the mother of my children, bro, she's 5 foot nothing, barely 100 pounds. You do not want to upset her
Yeah.
by
Fickle.
like threatening her children. I've seen
Yeah.
that happen.
Sure.
I've
Dude.
seen some mama bear
Uh-uh.
stuff from different women.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a wrench in here for a second, you guys. There's a couple of things here. One, I thought about calling my cousin the Shark because I talked to him about the podcast.
El
today.
Salvador fight
Yeah.
club guy.
Like the
I'm
Shark.
gonna see if he'll respond, but I'm gonna text him right now. And
You said 2 wrenches though?
yeah,
What's the
yeah.
second
So
wrench?
give me a second. We can
wait.
always edit this.
A wrench in a steering wheel club.
So there's two things. So while I'm waiting to see if he responds.
Yeah.
So speaking of masculinity, I threw in a little surprise for you, Niko. I don't know if you're into this, but I feel like if we want to get more viewers, this is definitely going to do it. So
He told
Are
me
you in
about
on
it
this?
already. Yeah.
I know him. That's why I asked.
Okay, so I want to talk about something really quick.
Oh no. So just, I don't know if he told you this, but we're such an open book that like we've already discussed what is on or off the table about things on this. And so now I'm just like, so
What is
these are fuck off yourself. Fucking what the fuck?
These are Baxter's shock collars.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 of them. I want to address this for a second because I don't have children, but I do have a dog, and you guys know that dog is like my child.
Mhm.
So I got this shock collar for Baxter because there was a couple of times
Can't control a little tiny dog.
there was a couple of times where he got out the front door when I only had him for a couple months. And that dog just doesn't listen, right? He follows a scent and he just keeps going after it. And I was trying to get him back. And I mean, now we're good, but then I was following him all the way down to El Camino Real.
Damn, that's
and,
far.
And it's
For him, I looked over there. He's not even there.
yeah. Hey, he walks 2 miles every day with me. But we got to El Camino Real and he almost ran out into traffic.
Mhm.
And I'm like, dude, I pictured my dog getting hit in traffic and just
Splat.
yes. And so I'm like, I can't, he needs to listen to me. We need to figure this
I'm gonna
out.
shock him into
I'm
listening.
gonna protect him.
I love this story as a caveat to you having a shock collar for your dog.
Yes.
As the children's book author of a dog.
Yes.
Dog
Yes. Well, so I don't,
It's gonna be
I don't,
the second book.
I don't shock him anymore. I only had to do it a couple of times, but,
Yeah. But you shock yourself.
but I shocked myself before I ever put it on him.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there was no way I was going to do something to him that I didn't know what it felt like.
Okay.
Right?
Did you put it on your throat or your arm?
My throat.
What the?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys going to do that now?
So,
No, we're not.
yeah, well, we're going to see who's more masculine here, Duke. No, so I asked Tyler.
You totally are.
I asked Tyler to prepare a couple of questions.
Oh no,
some trivia questions. And hey, you can say no, bro. I mean, this is
what types of questions. What's the category?
They're masculine related.
Okay,
Like
and
being a guy in today's world.
Yeah. And the idea is that we're going to both put on these shock collars and he's going to ask us these questions. And I don't know. I told him, I don't want to know the questions beforehand because that would be unfair.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And whoever,
of course not.
And whoever gets it wrong is going to get shot.
So should I, if we're going to do this, should we trade places or?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we should do that. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter with the cameras because, because I mean, when I edit it and stuff, I can split it all up so I can show all of our faces. How do you feel about that?
So, okay, this is really fucked up. Okay, because I have hear this out here. I got a disclosure.
You have a heart condition?
No, I fucking wish I could say that. Like tremendous health, it's fucking gnarly. I have this thing with electricity.
Oh yes.
So one of my pet peeves, ever since having roommates, is I can't like people that would grab a toaster, finger in the toaster, whether it's plugged in or not. I'm like, no. And then even going back further, when I was a kid, I'd get afraid of ironing. Yes, I iron. There's my feminine side.
I iron. Nobody else can do it.
Yeah, right. And if the water would spill out, and I would go over it, I would think that I was going to electrocute myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fucking hate getting shocked on doors.
So these have settings.
I want to make sure it's the same setting.
Okay, so here's what we can do is these are two different kinds. So the numbers of the setting are different.
I bet.
But you can try them on your arm both, and then you can choose which one you want. And we're both putting our trust into Tyler's hands.
I trust him more than you.
I trust him more than I trust me too.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so we'll do both of them. So I put this on, just so you know, I put this one on my neck it goes up to 100. I put it at 100. So, but it's got to be a little bit, if this is going to be funny, it's got to be strong enough. So put the two prongs on your arm, dude. And I'm gonna, here, we're going to give this to Tyler.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
So don't push the red one because the red one gives an extra jolt on this one.
Okay.
Just this button right here. This one is a vibrate.
Let's start it at 50.
No, it's at 50. I'm not even going all the way up to 50.
Well, you said you did it at 100.
I know.
On your throat?
Yes.
Did you fall down?
No. I mean, it's very short. It's not like it's not like you're sure it is. Okay, so you hit
how hard? You just like gently against my
in here.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's it at? Hey. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so now, this one is, we'll try 10 on this one. So, the button is the bottom one on this one. All right. Yeah, you just have to have the two prongs touching. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that one's weak compared to that one.
Go up and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 15?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Was that stronger?
Like fucking 15. Go to like 13.
I'm trying to get in.
Go for it. Yeah. It didn't do anything.
Nothing?
It's the bottom. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Maybe one more time. It's like, no, didn't do it. It's like, need time to like read. Okay, what's that at?
That was 14.
Do 13.
Okay. Which one do you want? Okay.
You can trust me if you like.
No, dude.
I don't want to. On my fucking throat. Wait. Hold on, dude.
No,
this one more time. The black one. One more time. The yellow one.
Oh. Yeah.
You can turn that one up, actually. I want to be fair. Because that one's fucking gnarly.
Here, let me just get a taste of this one.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't have it on yet. Hold on. Wait a second.
You're fine. I already did.
Go.
Shit. Okay, you know what? Maybe turn that one down. Turn that one down to 12.
That's fine.
And what's that one at now?
This one's at 40 now.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Is that pretty good?
Okay.
They're the same.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Fuck, dude, you're going to do this like right here?
You put wherever you want, dude.
It's fucking bullshit.
Oh shit. My neck's not as big my neck's bigger than Baxter's.
Same here. I'm just going to hold it.
So
I can readjust.
I think I got a dog collar on. Get it?
You do, bro.
While you guys are putting on your shock collars, the way these questions are framed is it's a multiple choice question, right?
Okay.
But since there's two of you here, I'm not going to give you all the options. I'm just going to ask the question, and then the first person to call it out, right?
Okay.
Doesn't get shocked.
I can't breathe right now.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on. This is way too
I
tight on
just
me.
saw the color on this thing. What the fuck? Okay. It's just
Hold
showing
on.
that it's on, right?
This is too tight on me. I couldn't even breathe. Dude, this is
going to suck.
oh, I know.
How many questions?
We got a lot, so we can go as far as you guys want.
Okay, don't hit me.
Okay, and if he gets it wrong, you
Hold
still
on,
get
hold on,
shocked.
hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it left the mark.
And if you want, I could give you each your own question so you can have the multiple choice.
Do you want to do? Let's do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, so it's like you're up. You got to answer. If you get it
Okay,
wrong, let's
okay.
do that.
Okay.
He's first.
And I'll try to keep them similar.
This is the bad idea.
I know.
It's such a bad idea.
All right, Scott. So first question, what tool do you use to tighten a hexed bolt? Is it a hammer, a flathead screwdriver, an Allen wrench, or pliers?
It's an Allen wrench.
That's correct.
Sucks. I wanted that one. I just did a bunch
my
of shit in
God.
the house.
All right, Nick.
Foot.
In grilling terms, what's the ideal internal temp for medium rare steak? Is it 125, 135, 145, or 160?
Medium.
Medium rare.
Go again one time. 125, 135, 145, or 165?
160, yeah.
160.
That is incorrect.
Yeah. That is fucking bull. What is it? 140?
It's 135.
135? Shit.
All right, how many questions should we do?
Dude, my whole neck just flexed.
How many questions should we do each?
Maybe 3 each. Okay. So Scott, what knot is commonly used to secure a load on the back of a pickup truck? Is it a slip knot, a square knot, a trucker's hitch, or a bowline?
I gotta say a trucker's hitch.
That's correct. That was kind of easy.
Yeah. Give me another one.
I'm gonna give you another one.
But I thought you were gonna trick me or something with that. Like it was a different one.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a
Dude,
trick.
I am so nervous.
Okay. What NFL quarterback famously guaranteed a Super Bowl victory and delivered in 1969? Was it Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Joe Namath, or Roger Staubach?
Roger Staubach.
Stop. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. No.
I'm awake, dude. I need to wake up. If I do this every morning, dude.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. Turn it down, maybe one for him.
Oh my God. Dude.
Oh, fucking.
Oh.
Oh, man. Okay, Nick, next question. We got some reverb going. So,
Yeah, it was the electricity went to the microphone. Oh my God.
so Nick, what is the most important rule of firearm safety? Is it always keep the safety on, only clean your gun when it's unloaded, never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy, or keep your finger on the trigger?
Always keep the safety on. God damn it. I just was so I'm getting the Glock, and I swear that was the answer. Is it
It's
not?
never point a gun at anything you're not.
not gonna.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. All right. This is my last. Oh, for 2, bro.
I suck. Fuck.
Oh, this is my last one. All right. Thank God. I
Okay.
don't know if I can handle that again, dude. That
Yeah,
was
you can.
intense.
All right, Scott, what is duct tape not commonly used for? Fixing a hose, patching up drywall, wrapping injuries, or sealing an air vent?
Oh,
Come on, dude. Hold on. Not commonly. I mean, but okay. Is it like not like you're not supposed to use it for that?
Yes, it's not commonly used for one of these.
Okay, so there's 2 that I would never do. You gotta give me a different question. Because there's two.
hey, I'm gonna do that the next
Okay.
time.
Oh, okay, but look, like,
I'm doing
can you? Okay, so but hold on, these 2 Like I would never put duct tape
Stop.
on. I would never put duct tape on drywall.
No.
I would never do that. But I would also never seal up an injury with it. That's not good.
That's really good. I've had to do that like multiple times.
You sealed an injury with duct tape?
You're not supposed to, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like commonly, you would never use it for drywall.
That's correct.
Yeah. So,
Correct.
but also the injury thing is.
Should I give it to him?
No.
No?
He said he wanted a different answer.
Yeah. No, yeah look, because that was.
We're shocking him.
Okay.
Oh, fuck you.
Here's another sports one. Which NBA player has won the most championship rings? Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, or Bill Russell?
Bill Russell.
That's correct.
Damn it. That's way too easy. I'm waiting for an easy one.
All right, I'm going to give you a sports one also.
I'll get it wrong.
What year did the Chicago Bulls win their first NBA championship? Was it 1989, 91, 93, or 96?
Okay, hold on. I'm processing my answer. It's either 89 or 91.
Okay.
Fuck. They won 3, then they won 3.
That's correct.
91.
Yes. Can we take these off? I don't know if I can handle
All right.
it. Oh, that's going to be some good footage, dude. Oh my God, dude. I think I'm going to have a mark on there.
Yeah, that first time you got shocked was hilarious. The look on your face, I haven't seen it look like that in a while. Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
My God. No, he looked smarter than you did when that happened.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you're so fired.
Whew. All right, we passed that, dude.
Good game.
Oh yeah, we won't call the shark, dude. We'll call the shark another time. But he was saying some funny stuff to me about masculinity, and anyways, it was just comedic. It was nothing else. He's funny.
Yeah.
Here, let's call. We'll see if we can call.
What made you come up with that?
What made me come up with that was just thinking of masculine. Well, one thinking about like
shocking each other.
What kind of stuff? Like I want to do stuff that makes it really like I want funny clips for my comedy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So seeing you and me both get shocked and like comparing that, like that's gonna get views. That's gonna get views, dude. Yeah. I want to do stuff like this every week so that I can take little clips that we got views on, and also I think it's poignant to the topic.
Sure.
Yeah. The questions were awesome. Like, yeah.
And on top of that, like look, this is a great tool that has changed the dynamic between my dog and I, so that I am now able to protect him better because of this tool. And I'm not trying to like abuse him with it by any means. I just
me.
Yes. Also, I wanted to see you get shot, dude. Like, duh. The simplest answer is usually the right one.
No, so I mean, like for real. Okay, so you put that on Baxter.
Yeah, I
had to use it a couple of times.
Yeah, dude, it was so sad the first time, but it kind of changed.
That's what I wanted to hear.
It kind of changed the dynamic between us, where he saw me as a protector, even though I was also the one that was beat.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's look. A lot of people will say it's like not, it's not humane or whatever. But it's. I mean, you felt it. What you felt and what I just felt, I haven't done even close to as strong as that to him. Like not even.
It goes up to 100.
Yeah, like not even half.
Oh, great.
Like on that one, what did you do it at? Like
I don't know.
40. Like I think the most I ever did it to him on was like 15.
Yeah, I wouldn't do 40.
And it feels like he's getting a little rubber band snap on his neck. And also their necks are much tougher than ours are. Right? So like, but he's like, well, okay, what is that? Like he doesn't like it, obviously, but it's not the same that I just experienced by any. What was this one on? The other one?
13.
Yeah, I think I do it on him on like 6. Right? It's not that
what kind of dog would you want to put anything higher than that on?
A bigger dog.
Well, I get that, but I don't even care. I'm pretty big.
Yeah, no,
dude. Like 100 on that would suck.
Yeah, I mean you got
40 sucked.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely a way to break a dog. But
you do it? Okay.
We got to call. I got to call the shark real quick because he's available right now, but he's going to the gym. So let's see if we can catch him.
You just gonna put him on speakers?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put him right here, dude. Yeah. Can you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You see, he's got to go to work.
No, he's going to the gym. See if he'll pick up. He might be in the gym already.
Missed.
He said he had like 10 minutes, and that was like
how long?
15 minutes.
Yeah, he's done. Breathing all fucking heavy, coming off gross and masculine. Yeah, I think we missed our.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
no,
that's all good.
not now.
We'll get him. We'll get him next time. He's
Okay.
dude. He's funny, dude. He's just a naturally funny guy.
Did he come around when we were young?
Yeah, he did. He did for sure a few times.
Okay.
But you guys, I know that you probably didn't realize this. We've been sitting here recording for an hour and 46 minutes.
Wow. It's a good chat.
So
It's enjoyed it.
that's kind of the timeline that I'm, looking at with this. And
I like this guy.
yeah,
We got to bring him back
He's-
again.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Happy to come back.
He's good people, man. It's funny. He hit me up the other day when I was, I don't know, running around doing errands and stuff. And I went and hung out with him and I was telling him about the podcast. And I was like, dude, let's get you on. I mean, even when I started this, I knew I wanted to have you on at some point. So,
Yeah.
So my cousin also ran for city council. He didn't win
No
either.
kidding. Yeah. Where at?
Yeah, right. Like when I was all stoked. I'm like, yeah, I want to vote for you, but that's when I realized you can't even
you're a
vote.
felon.
Well, that stopped happening. No joke. Just recently, the first time I was allowed to vote was in Trump's first election.
Really?
It was the first time I was allowed to vote.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how much he's told you, but I'm definitely reformed person now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Tyler,
No, you can't even vote. Because my address is Dana Point. You can't vote in any city election.
of course.
I didn't realize that. I never had experience.
Like, I got some friends in Wisconsin
Yeah.
voting for San
Well, that I figured, but I just, Dana Point's close enough. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Where was he running?
San Clemente.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Joey Kenny.
Okay.
I've seen the name.
Huh.
But yeah, so he was at my first comedy show that you went to. And I told him the whole intro joke that I did about my buddy that's been sober for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
What a loser. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, that's really why I picked you to do this with, is look, I can say anything.
Literally.
But also, I mean, I can't say anything, but I wouldn't say things that are going to piss you off. You know, if I say something, that it's said tongue in cheek,
100%.
as a joke.
Yeah.
You guys play well off each other too.
Yeah, I think so.
And you can kind of keep him on track because he kind of goes off on tangents.
I totally do. I do. I'm super like ADHD or ADD or gay.
Right.
I don't know. It's one of those.
Or all the above.
Yeah, maybe. Still working that one out. Still working that one out. But yeah. Oh yeah. And I told him, I was like, dude, you have 100% free reign on bringing me back in because I know that I go off on tangents, dude. And it's exhausting.
I'll let him talk for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'll have to interrupt every once in a while.
Yeah. If I'm still making a point, fine. But
right.
I enjoyed this. This was a good chat.
Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely come back.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making a bunch of crap.
Yeah, because I want to we have talked to, him cannonballing into being a Mormon and then coming out of it. We've talked about that, but I would like to down the line get your experience as to why you didn't go down that path. And
yeah,
I think it'd be even cool to have you on as a regular sometimes.
Sure.
Especially if we have people that are call in. I mean, obviously my room here is limited.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, we would definitely love to have you back.
Yeah.
We can still hang out and talk for a second, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and
all right.
Signing off.
Yeah.